Welcome to the 9th induction banquet for the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame. Our first banquet was held in 2005. My name is Bruce McLean. I graduated in 1969. I ran track for Orv Bees and Tom Egan. I started teaching in St. Louis Park in 1979 and retired in 2013. One time I was teaching a class kind of towards the end of my career, and some kid must have asked me, said, where are you from? I said, oh. So, well, I was born in St. Louis Park. When I was born, we lived on Hampshire right across from Lenox, but I grew up on 40th and Brunswick, so I went to Brookside Elementary School, K through 6. I went to the good junior high at Central from 7 through 9. I went to the high school 10 through 12. I started teaching at St. Louis Park in 1979. I met my wife when we were both teaching at the junior high. We bought a house in St. Louis Park. We live on 26 in Quentin. We had a kid. My kid went to high school at St. Louis Park. And as I was telling the class this, so a kid raises his hand and says, man, you are stuck in a rut. But I always thought it was a pretty good rut to be stuck in. I've enjoyed living in St. Louis Park. I enjoyed teaching in St. Louis Park. I enjoyed coaching in St. Louis Park. And I've been pleased to be a member of the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame Committee. I'd like the committee people to be recognized right now. And if they could stand up and be recognized, Athletic Director Andy Ewald, Jill Anderson, Carla Wolgemuth, Steve Ashley, Jessica Gust, Zach Strouts, Neil Hall, Steve Hunnigs, and Ross Nathanson. So they put all this together. If you have previously been inducted to the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame, could you please stand up? So we appreciate all the alumni coming back and participating in the athletic induction ceremony as well. I'd like to especially recognize two coaches here, and if they could stand up, Sally Callahan and Deb Wold. Sally Callahan probably has won more state championships than any other coach in St. Louis Park history. 22 state championships. Deb Wold has been coaching and teaching in St. Louis Park for a long time. And he was one of the first people to kind of go over to the girls' side and coach in soccer and basketball. So we appreciate all the things that Deb has done for the schools as well. And in about a month or so, Deb will be turning 91. And Sally is a little younger. Okay? So what we'd like to do right now is start, one more person. I'd like to recognize Jerry Firk, the wife of Phil Firk. Deb and I coached girls basketball with Phil. Phil died a couple of months ago, and he was one of the original members of the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame Committee. And we appreciate Jerry coming today. And so we're all going to miss Phil and all he did for St. Louis Park as well. Okay, so now we will start the brunch. And so how do we want to dismiss? Go.
Go by age.
I know Bruce welcomed everybody earlier, but thank you for taking the time on a beautiful Sunday to be here today. I am Andy Ewald. I'm the athletic director at St. Louis Park High School. I am finishing my 24th year in that position at St. Louis Park. Doing this Banquet every 3 years or so has been one of the highlights of my position. It's great seeing everybody come together. I typically, in years past, have gotten up here and given a state of park athletics. And what I wanted to focus on today really quick before we get into the Hall of Fame inductees is just the changes that have happened in the athletic facilities at the high school, just like in the last 10 years, because it's been pretty remarkable the amount of resources that the district, with the support of the community through multiple referendums, have put into improving and creating new facilities for us. So I'm just going to go through some of them up here on the screen. The main gym at the high school, maybe 3 years ago, we ripped the floor out. New floor got put in, new lighting got done, the partition came out. It feels like a whole different space. The nice thing about it is, though, because of how close the bleachers are to the court for volleyball or for basketball, it still has a great home court feel. It's a wonderful environment. It's not like a lot of the newer schools where the fans are so far away from the actual game. So it's still got that great home court, home feeling when we've got games there. We have a brand new weight room. This was an addition that was added onto the high school. It opened the spring of 2020, so we shut down, and because of COVID, like the rest of the world, and we had this beautiful space just sitting there. We put a lot of time and energy. Jessica Gust, who's here, who is our head strength coach and is one of our inductees, her and myself and a couple other people went and visited the high schools in the metro area that supposedly had the best weight rooms, the small colleges around that supposedly had the best weight rooms, and we picked their brains. We talked about what they would change, what they loved about what they did, and we created this space where right now, under Coach Gust's leadership, we have kids in there in the morning, we have kids in there after school. We have every single one of our 20-plus teams in season coming in, oops, good catch, and meeting and spending time at least twice a week with her in that space in season. So it's one part of the athletic department that I'm most proud of, and most of that is about Jessica's leadership and us being at a point where, again, we have every single team in season all year long in there working out. What do we have next? We have a cardio room that's right off of it, and this cardio room is new construction as well. So with our certified athletic trainer through TRIA, we have kids rehabbing in there, we'll have teams in there, Jessica will have kids in there, so it's just another nice new space. This just opened maybe a week or so ago, so the track and the field inside the track, because we're so landlocked, that field every single year was dying a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And our grounds crew, as much as they tried, really couldn't give it enough TLC. So what we ended up doing last summer, they went down maybe 5 to 6 feet into the track, into the field, brought new soil in, because that was the big problem, and why the old track kept faulting and cracking was because of the soil underneath it wasn't good soil. Brought in new soil and opened up brand new track, new fencing around it, new field on the inside of it. So we actually will host our Eric Jones Memorial Track Meet a week from tomorrow out there with 8 or 7 other schools coming. We redid our tennis courts probably 5 years ago. Again, the same problem. We went years with having a lot of faulting, whether it was separating, whether it was going high-low, kept patching, and ultimately we were told unless the soil underneath it got replaced, that we would continue to have those problems year in and year out. So with the tennis courts, same thing. They went down 5 or 6 feet, got bad soil out of there, brought new soil in, and we have 7 beautiful tennis courts at the high school. The stadium, we redid this field maybe 10 years ago. We're actually looking at in the next year or so, because it's year 11, I think, with the field, and typically the warranty runs out on synthetic fields after 8 years. So we're looking at probably in a year or two doing something with the field at the stadium, potentially redoing the lights, because right now they're halogen lights, and looking at getting to LED lights. We got a grant from Hennepin County maybe 7 years ago, and we redid the fencing, the entryway at the stadium, new concessions area at the stadium. Let me get to, I'm going to bounce all around. I'm going to get to, I thought I had one in here, but I didn't. We have permanent bathrooms at the stadium now, on the other side of the concession stand. So we got a large grant from Hennepin County to do that work. We have a new athletic training room where Josh, again, our athletic trainer from who we have through TRIA, is able to work with and treat our athletes who are injured. He's there every day after school. Locker rooms. This was, again, one of the bigger things we did the same time we did the weight room. So the old locker rooms where there was a boys' locker room and a girls' locker room, and PE and athletics shared those spaces, we separated them out. So what was the boys' locker room has been split, and there's boys' athletics and girls' athletics in 2 separate locker rooms that during the school day aren't open. And then PE has their own space, so during the school day, the PE locker rooms are open. So it's been really nice for our athletes to have a space that's their own and that we're not sharing with PE. And I think our school administration would say that separating the 2 spaces has made it easier to manage the spaces as well. And we put pointy tops on the top of the lockers so kids aren't lying on top of them. We have, it's why we did it purposefully. 100% that's why we did it. We have a couple team rooms for our teams to go in and use. There's a wall of dry erase boards. There's monitors in there for them to be able to watch film. The athletic office is in the space that, in my time, we started off with the weight room downstairs in the dungeon, and then it moved upstairs right outside the activity center. That space is now our athletic office. We purposefully built it with a lot of glass, and so it's glass all the way around. It's really inviting. It makes it easier for us to help supervise the entrance that's right there. So that is my update. I'll just ask if there's any questions about anything with facilities before we move on. But again, it's been really nice for me where the first handful of years it kind of felt like it was pulling teeth, and there just wasn't there wasn't the belief. And again, this isn't trying to keep up with the mega schools around us in the West Metro. It's about taking the spaces we have and making them be the best spaces that our student athletes can be proud of. And there's really been a strong push, like I said, the last 10 years with our facilities to give our kids the best spaces that they can be proud of, and that's what we have. So now we will move on to...
But the pool's the same, right?
Well, here you go. Here's what I'll say about the pool. With all 3 pools in the district, maybe 8 years ago, we put a $750,000 HVAC system in at each of the pools maybe 7 years ago. It was one of the things on my wish list was to try to get a standalone aquatic center. At one point before the last referendum, it was being considered, and it ended up not making the cut with the last referendum. But I fought as hard as I could to try to get us a standalone aquatic center, but it just didn't happen. And we will be, as soon as next gymnastics season gets done, next winter, we will be creating over at Central, which is where the district office is now, we will be creating a standalone gymnastics space. If any of you have been over there in the last, I don't know, at least 24 years, there's the small gymnastics room, and then they have to haul equipment upstairs into the gym when we have meets. We're gonna have everything set up in the gyms up there. We'll have bleachers in there, have new equipment for the girls, so I'm excited about what we're doing for the gymnastics program a year from now. So there we go. All right, Karen Rogers Gleason. Hi, Karen. How are you? So usually Jeff Passolt does this, so I'm sure I won't be nearly as witty and as fun as him. I appreciate Bruce did all the write-ups for me, and he put it in big enough font where I don't have to borrow anybody's readers because I typically don't use them. Karen is a 1963 graduate of Park, a surf belle, a teacher, coach, and administrator at St. Louis Park. She is also the mother of 2 Hall of Fame synchro swimmers, Carrie Hirschberger Schwiedering and Jill Hirschberger Rossi. Carrie's here. Hi, Carrie. She also has a son, Eric, who is a teacher in Las Vegas. Here is what her Lifetime Achievement Award plaque says. The St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame Committee would like to present Karen Gleason with the Lifetime Achievement Award in appreciation and recognition for her athletic and career accomplishments at St. Louis Park Public Schools. Karen was an outstanding swimmer. She was part of the historic Surf Belles, one of Minnesota's first high school synchronized swimming teams. During her high school years, she placed first or second in the solo, duet, and team events. Karen went to Mankato State University, where she earned her degree in education and eventually came back to teach and coach in St. Louis Park. Karen worked at St. Louis Park Junior High. She taught physical education and health and was the junior high athletic director before moving into the front office, where she served as the chemical health specialist, then finishing her career as dean of students. During this time, Karen remained active in athletics in St. Louis Park, the state level and nationally. Throughout her time in SLP, she coached junior high speed swimming, tennis, track and field, as well as junior and senior high synchronized swimming. Karen officiated multiple junior high sports and worked diligently alongside Sally Callahan, who's here, to have synchronized swimming recognized by the Minnesota State High School League. Karen created and coached the Aquafins, the first synchronized swimming club in St. Louis Park, which is still going strong today. There she coached multiple state and national qualifying athletes. Karen was inducted into the Minnesota State High School Synchronized Swimming Coaches Association. She served over 20 years as a Minnesota State High School League official. Karen coached the St. Louis Park High School Synchronized Swimming Team from 1985 to 1996 as an assistant and head coach. During her tenure, she coached many young women who produced state championships in solo, duet, trio, and team events. During her tenure, the SLP High School Synchro Team produced the most successful teams for the Orioles. The 1994 state champion team has previously been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Karen would like to thank the committee for recognizing her with a Lifetime Achievement Award. She would also like to thank Sally Callahan for being her coach, role model, and friend. She loved coaching with her all those years. She remembers when they would go to out-of-state meets. After getting the swimmers settled into their rooms, Karen and Sally could go to the lounge and relax. She would like to thank Les Bork, the junior high principal who hired her to teach and be the junior high athletic director. She wants to thank Shelley Nielsen, who is here today. They coached together for decades and has always been a great support for Karen and her best friend. Karen says, "I love my career at St. Louis Park because of the people, especially my flip-flop ladies who are with me today. I have been fortunate to be surrounded by people who make me happy and make the world a better place. Thank you all for coming and supporting all these well-deserved athletes." Lastly, Karen would like to thank her family who's here with her today. Congratulations to Karen for her well-deserved award. Hi, Mitchell. Mitchell Seidenfeld, class of 1981, Lifetime Achievement Award. Mitchell won an Olympic gold medal in table tennis at the 1992 Barcelona Paralympic Games in the singles competition, a gold medal. However, his athletic career began long before that. Growing up in Baltimore, Mitchell dreamed of playing Major League Baseball or being in the NBA. He attended basketball camps held by Earl the Pearl Monroe and played Little League Baseball with the sons of Frank Robinson and Don Buford of the Baltimore Orioles. Mitch's father, Phil, was a great athlete in Des Moines and was captain of his high school tennis and wrestling teams. His mother, Carol, had a passion for swimming and had Mitch and his two sisters in the pool before he was 3. His father always encouraged Mitch to participate in sports despite the physical limitations caused by his dwarfism. That is because Mitch's father never let his own dwarfism stop him from competing in sports. He never let Mitch use it as an excuse to get out of any physical activity. Mitchell moved to St. Louis Park before his 4th grade year. By then, he knew his dreams of playing Major League Baseball or of playing in the NBA were no longer on track. He grew to 4 feet tall. He had severe orthopedic problems with his ankles, knees, hips, and back. He had major surgeries on his legs when he was 6, 8, 11, and 14 years old. He wore a brace for scoliosis from 4th grade through his junior year. He still continued to play school basketball until the 8th grade and competed in tennis through high school for Coach Dave Ryer. Coach Ryer says, "Mitch asked no favors or special treatment. His determination to succeed affected all of us, and I grew as a coach having him on our team. 40 years later, I remember his presence and how tall he stood on the court and in life." At 13, his father registered him in a league at a table tennis club in Hopkins. That changed everything for Mitch. He realized table tennis was a sport that relied much less on size and strength and depended much more on hand-eye coordination, quickness, and developing a strong mental game. In high school, Mitchell was named All-State for the Minnesota Table Tennis League from 1978 to 81. While attending the University of Minnesota, he was the 1982 Association of College Unions International Region 10, which makes up Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa, men's singles and doubles champion. This was an open, able-bodied competition, not a para competition. He was also the 1983 ACUI Region 10 singles champion. He won the Minnesota State Singles Championship 5 times in 1992, 1999, 2000, 2001, and 2002. Again, these were all able-bodied competitions. He is also a 10-time Minnesota State doubles champion. In 1990, Mitchell competed in his first international pair event in Assen, the Netherlands. It was called the 1990 World Championships and Games for the Disabled. Mitchell won the gold medal in singles at those games. In addition to his gold medal in singles at the 1992 Barcelona Paralympic Games, he also won a bronze medal in the teams competition. At the 1996 Atlanta Paralympic Games, he won the silver medal in Class 8 singles competition. Mitchell was also named the United States Olympic Committee Athlete of the Year 4 times. He was the USA Table Tennis Coach of the Year 4 times. He has been the head coach of the U.S. National Para Table Tennis team from 2016 until now. In 2010, Mitch was inducted into the U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Fame. Mitchell is also the current president of the Minnesota Table Tennis Federation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting and developing the sport of table tennis in Minnesota. Mitch was able to attend the COVID-delayed 2020 Tokyo Paralympics as the head coach for the U.S. Paralympic table tennis team. While he was there, he was able to watch his son, Ian, win the singles Paralympic gold medal in his division. Like father, like son. Ian will be competing in the Paris Paralympic Games this summer. After the table tennis competition in Tokyo, Mitchell was awarded the highest coaching award presented by the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, the Order of Icos. Mitch's father was always his biggest fan and supporter, but he would like to thank a few other people. Phil Firk, also a Park Hall of Fame coach, was Mitch's elementary PE teacher from 4th to 6th grade. Phil treated him like every other kid in the class and never let Mitch use his aches and pains as an excuse from participating in physical education class. And that is just the way Mitch and his parents wanted it. John Anderson, also a Park Hall of Fame athlete, was his classmate and friend. Mitch says, "John made a greater impact on me than he would ever know. His friendship and acceptance of me at a time when I was most insecure about my physical differences gave me confidence and made it much easier to endure some of the indignities I experienced during my high school years." Mitch said he first met John in 5th grade when John's Lenox Elementary School basketball beat Mitch's Aquila team 50-1. All right. Mitch's dad was also coaching the team, and he was pissed. Mark Colvin was a member of the Park tennis team, and he encouraged Mitch to come out for the team because he knew of Mitch's love for tennis. He said Mark went out of his way to make him believe he deserved to be part of the varsity team. Mitch married Tina, and they have 2 children, Emma and Ian, and they live in Lakeville. He would like to thank them for all their support and for allowing him to compete for as long as he did and allow him to help build the sport of table tennis in Minnesota. Congratulations to Mitchell Seidenfield on his induction into the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Oop, oop. Stephen Quaid. There we go. Stephen Quaid, class of 1959. Stephen is represented on stage by his teammate Bob Wadaja and his partner Cheryl Gustafson. Stephen Quaid won the 1959 state swimming meet in the 200-yard freestyle with an all-time Minnesota record of 2 minutes and 1/10 second. With that time, he also achieved All-American status. Like most of his teammates, Steve did not start competitive swimming until his sophomore year in high school. Under the guidance of his head coach, Richard Wanio, Steve worked hard to become the best swimmer he could be. At 6'4" and with a long wingspan, Steve was an intimidating presence on the starting blocks. At the state meet as a junior, Steve finished in 2nd place in the 50-yard freestyle and 5th place in the 200-yard freestyle. As a senior, Steve set late conference records in the 50 and the 100-yard freestyle. In addition to winning the 200-yard freestyle at state, Steve anchored the 200-yard melody relay to a 3rd place finish. Steve always claimed that he touched the wall in second place, but that the judges missed the call. At the time, swimmers could only enter into 2 events at the state meet. Stephen went on to swim and letter in 2 seasons at the University of Minnesota. In 1961, Steve placed 5th in the 400-yard freestyle relay at the NCAA Swimming Championships. He was named NCAA All-American. A lawnmower accident to his foot after Steve's junior year finished his swimming career, just as he was training to participate in the Olympic trials to select the swimming team for the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. After the accident, Steve left college and went to work for the family business, Commercial Air. In 1983, Bob and his wife introduced Steve to Cheryl, and after a long dating process, they made a commitment to each other and were together for over 30 years living in Golden Valley. Steve became the stepfather to Cheryl's 3 children, Anders, Ryan, and Amy, and their 4 grandchildren. Despite the injury to his foot, Stephen loved the outdoors, especially at the cabin at Lake Hattie. He was an active outdoorsman, with hunting, fishing, camping, and hiking playing a major part of his life. Steve also had a great love for Alaska, where he took many hunting, hiking, and fishing trips. He passed on that love of Alaska to his stepson, Anders, who attended the University of Alaska, Anchorage, and that's where he currently resides. Stephen passed away in 2017. We are pleased to induct Stephen Quaid into the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Tom Burns, class of 1966. Due to a medical procedure, Tom was unable to attend today. He's being represented by Bill Terriquez. Bill is a member of the Hall of Fame. He was Tom's teammate and captain of the 1966 track and field team. Tom Burns won the 1966 Minnesota State High Jump Championship with a school record of 6 feet 4 inches. Tom's victory provided crucial points in St. Louis Park winning the track and field state championship with 20 points to Stillwater's 16. As teammate Bill said, "We would not have won state without him." Tom was initially encouraged to go out for track as a junior when a physical education teacher thought he would make a good long jumper for the team. One day at practice, there was an open invitation for anyone on the team to try out for the high jump. Rather than do a difficult long jump workout, Tom decided to give the high jump a try. Having never high jumped before, the coaches were thrilled that Tom was able to clear 5 foot 2 inches. Now he was a high jumper. A year later, he was a state champion. Tom gives a great deal of credit to Coach Lefty Wright for teaching him how to high jump and how to be a better person. As a senior, he was named All-A Conference and All-State. He placed first in the District 18 and Region 5 meets. During the season, he won 16 of 19 meets. Tom went on to compete in track and field at Mankato State University. He also set the school record in high jump at Mankato with a jump of 6 feet 7 inches and 3/4. After college, Tom went to work for a large retail store who moved him to New Jersey in 1980. He is married to Linda, and they have 3 daughters, Barbara, Betsy, and Kate, and 1 granddaughter, Nikki. He is now retired and spends his time golfing and chasing geese out of his pond. The St. Louis Park High School Hall of Fame congratulates Tom Burns on his induction. Thank you for being here. How are you? Good to see you. Brian Mortland, class of 1974. Brian Mortland was the 1974 state champion in the pole vault with a jump of 14 feet, 7¼ inches, a new state record. He still holds the school record. At the 1973 state meet, Brian finished third with a jump of 13 feet, 6 inches. In 1973 and 1974, he was named All-State. Brian lettered 3 years in track and field and was the captain of the 1974 team. He lettered 2 years in football and 1 in basketball. Brian started as a high jumper in 7th grade. He went out for track mostly because there was not a 7th grade baseball team. Brian would always follow his big brother Steve around, so Steve and their cousin Paul convinced him to join the track team. He started as a high jumper, but one day the junior high team went to the high school for track practice. He spent the whole time watching the pole vaulters. The vaulters asked if he wanted to try it, and he was hooked. He would like to thank his vault coach, John Haskins, for all the time he spent helping him learn how to vault. Coach Haskins passed away last year, and Brian remembers his coach. About John, yes, I had heard he had passed. I don't have a specific story, but would like to say a few things about him. I think when I was a sophomore, it was his first year coaching and teaching at St. Louis Park. He was the pole vault coach, and it was his first year. He didn't know much about pole vault, but he was so dedicated he quickly became an expert on it. He was never afraid to ask all the questions of anyone and everyone to learn as much as he could. I know he had more confidence in me than I had in myself. He was a tireless coach. I had many good coaches in different sports over the year, but I consider him one of the best I've ever had. Coach Haskins' wife Wanda and their family are here today as she is being inducted as a member of the 1974 synchro team. Head coach Tom Egan said that Brian was a dedicated athlete whose hard work paid off in the state championship. Brian also competed in the high jump, long jump, and ran the 4x1 relay. One memory for Brian was at the region meet his senior year. As is often the case, the pole vault was the last event to be competed at the end of the meet. He was trying to break the region record and thought the only people still at the meet were his parents and teammates. After he broke the record and was lying in the pole vault pit, he heard cheering and buses honking from all the teams that were still there watching from the parking lot. After high school, Brian attended the University of Minnesota, where he lettered each year from 1975 to 79. In 1978, he placed 4th in the pole vault at the Big Ten outdoor meet, and he was the captain of the 1979 team. He would like to thank his coaches, Roy Griak and Jim Goddard. He would also like to thank his parents for all their support during his athletic career. Brian currently lives in Byron with his wife, Kathy. Athleticism seems to run in the family. His oldest son, Neil, is a member of the Byron basketball team that was inducted into the Byron Hall of Fame. He and his wife have 2 children. Brian's daughter, Cam, is 34 and qualified twice for the state meet in golf. She is married to Mark, and they have 2 children. His youngest son, Lance, is 28, went to the state in basketball and in golf. He is engaged to Julia. After working many years for Schmidt Printing, Brian is retired and currently coaching track and field with his son Neil at Bloomington Kennedy. Congratulations to Brian for his induction in the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Daryl Bittman. Daryl was what has become a rarity in high school sports today, a 3-sport athlete. He competed and excelled in football, basketball, and track and field. He earned 8 letters during his career at Park. Daryl earned 3 letters in football. As a running back, in his senior year, he was named All-Lake Conference, All-Metro, and All-State. He gained 916 yards in his senior year and 1,892 for his career. Coach Raleigh Hanks said that Daryl could change direction quicker than any running back he and Bob Roy have ever coached. He earned 3 letters in basketball. He was All-A Conference as a junior, and as a senior named All-State, and named All-State as a senior. One time, Deb Wold, the head girls basketball coach, asked Augie Schmidt, the boys coach, how he broke a full court press. Augie said, "It's easy. I just lob it into Pete, 6'8" Jim Peterson, and he gives it to Bittman." In his senior year, he led Park on an incredible playoff run. In the region semifinals, Park beat Hopkins by 1 point. In the region championship game, Park defeated Bloomington Jefferson in triple overtime. At the state tournament, Park defeated number 1 ranked Bemidji in the first round by 1 point. In the semifinals, Park beat number 2 ranked Washburn by 2 points before losing to Prior Lake in the championship game. Augie used to say that Daryl was the best and toughest defensive player he had ever coached. Daryl also lettered twice in track and field. Daryl would like to thank his coaches, Bob Roy, Augie Schmidt, and John Haskins for all their encouragement during his career. He would also like to thank his mother, Vicki, who never missed a football game, a basketball game, or a track and field meet starting in 5th grade. He also wants to thank Marilyn Sweeney, who documented his high school athletic career and gave him 16 scrapbooks at graduation. Dwayne Hamilton was a lifelong friend who always offered encouragement during Daryl's career. After high school, Daryl played basketball at Golden Valley Lutheran College, where he was coached by Flip Saunders. 2 surgeries on his ankle after his freshman year ended his athletic career. Daryl currently lives in Minneapolis with his partner, Andrea. He worked for the city of Bloomington for 37 years. He has 3 sons. Chad and Dan are retired Army veterans, and Chris is the police chief of Carrington, North Dakota. He also has 7 grandchildren. Congratulations to Daryl Bittman for his induction into the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Chad Goldstein, class of 1989. Chad was the Minnesota State shot put. Too many things for me to do. Chad was the Minnesota State shot put champion in 1989 with a throw of 60 feet 5 inches. Even though he was thrilled to win state, Chad was a little disappointed not to break the state record at the time of 62 feet 6 inches, especially after throwing over 64 feet in warm-ups. Chad still holds school records at Park of 61 feet 11 and a half inches. Chad lettered 3 years in track and field. He was named All-A Conference his junior and senior year and All-State his senior year. He was also the Lake Conference champion and Region 6 shot put champion his senior year. He would like to thank head coach Kevin Moorhead for nominating him for the Hall of Fame. He would like to thank Gordy Wyrock, Jack Wilhite, Irv Smith, and Becky Siekmeyer, thank you, for coaching him in high school. Chad also earned 2 letters in football. After high school, Chad competed at the University of Minnesota. He was the 1993 Big Ten shot put champion and was second in the discus. He lettered 3 years at the U. He finished 8th in the shot put at the 1993 NCAA meet and was named All-American. He would like to thank his college coaches Colin and Lynn Anderson, Dick Muckhern, Steve Forseth, and Ron Backus. Chad also competed in the 1993 at the 14th Maccabiah Games in Israel, where he finished second in the shot put and third in discus. Chad worked in construction business and is currently doing sales and merchandising to grocery stores. He has coached track and field at Armstrong and is currently coaching at Somerset High School in Wisconsin. He is married to Shannon, and they have two daughters, Eve, 21, and Ruby, 17. He would also like to thank his family for all their support. His mother and stepfather, Annalie and Annie Adeski. Arnie, thank you. Annalie and Arnie Adeski, and his father, Maurice Goldstein. The St. Louis Park High School Athletic Hall of Fame congratulates Chad Goldstein on his induction into the Hall of Fame. Well, hi. Jessica Gust, class of 1999. Jessica is being inducted today for her contributions to St. Louis Park as an athlete and a coach. Jessica was also an accomplished three-sport athlete at Park. As a synchronized swimmer, Jessica won multiple state championships as an individual and in team events. Jessica was also a member of the 1994 and 1998 state championship teams. Individually, she was a state champion in 1998 and 1999 in the extended trio category with her teammates Angela Swenson and Sarah Weiss. She was also a state champion in 1999 in the extended figures category. From 1994 to 1999, she had multiple top three placements at the state meet in a variety of categories. She was named All-State in her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons. She earned 6 letters in synchro and was a captain of the 1999 team. Jessica also earned 3 letters in speed swimming and was the captain of the 1999 team. She also was a member of the first girls hockey team at St. Louis Park and lettered for 3 years. Jessica would like to thank all her coaches, but especially Carly Craignes and Janice Clausen. She also wants to thank her mother, Linda Gust. Jessica says she was blessed to both coached by her mom and to be able to coach with her mom for over 20 years. She also wants to thank her teammates Sarah Weissy and Angela Swenson for being such great friends and fake siblings. Jessica appreciates all that participating in athletics has done for her. She feels lucky to have been part of such a historically successful synchronized swimming team and to be part of the very first girls hockey team at Park. For over 20 years, Jessica was an assistant coach of the synchro team with her mother, Linda, as the head coach. She started coaching synchro in 2000. She helped lead the 2004 and 2006 teams to state championships. The synchro team won 19 consecutive synchro championships. In 2017, she was named the Minnesota Assistant Synchronized Swimming Coach of the Year. Since 2010 until now, Jessica has also been the head strength and conditioning coach at Park. She helped in the design and construction of the new state-of-the-art weight room at the high school. In 2020, she was named the NHSSCA Minnesota Strength and Conditioning Coach of the Year. She is currently a member of the National High School Strength Coaches Association Advisory Board and is the current state director of the Minnesota Strength Coaches Association. She has also been a Minnesota State High School League official for 25 years. After high school, Jessica attended Hamline University with a major in biology and education. She swam on the speed swimming team for 4 years and was the captain her senior year. She received her master's in applied kinesiology from the University of Minnesota. She started teaching at Park in 2014. She currently teaches biology and exercise science. Congratulations to Jessica on all her accomplishments and contributions to St. Louis Park. Okay. Don't they have the best jackets? They do. Maggie Lauren Brown, class of 2003. In the long history of synchronized swimming, Maggie Neck, as she was known in high school, is one of the most decorated swimmers in St. Louis Park history. She has multiple state championships in several categories. She placed first in state in at least one event every year from 1998 to 2003. In 1998, as a seventh grader, Maggie placed first in short duet, short trio, and short team in helping Park win its first state meet in several years. That meet, along with her teammates, inspired her to become the best swimmer she could possibly be. Maggie was so devoted to synchronized swimming that she used to sit in class with her toes curled to improve her toe point. She studied videos and spent countless hours in the pool to improve her skills. She developed new styles and choreography that had never been done before. Coach Linda Gust says, Maggie is without a doubt one of the most creative and innovative choreographers I have ever worked with as both a swimmer and a coach. Each year I wondered what she would do to top her routines from the previous year. And of course, she always delivered. Maggie was able to develop a unique style that inspired future synchronized swimmers at Park and swimmers from other schools. She says, synchro was my absolute everything. It was my life. Over the next several years, Maggie placed so many times in the state meet, it's difficult for her to remember all of them. In 2002, she was the extended trio state champion with teammates Leah Jacobson and Krista Erdahl. In 2003, she was the extended trio state champion with teammates Leah Jacobson and Jana Burt. She was a 6-year letter winner and a 2-year captain of the team. She was all-conference for 3 years and all-state for 3 years. She was also the captain of the basketball team her senior year. After high school, Maggie swam for the University of Minnesota's synchronized swimming team. At the NCAA synchronized swimming meet in 2005, she placed first in the figures category. In 2006, she was a trio finalist and a solo finalist in 2008. She came back to coach synchro at Park from 2005 to 2008. After college, Maggie was a professional synchronized swimmer. She swam for 6 years at SeaWorld San Antonio, where she swam with dolphins and beluga whales. She also swam for 2 years at La Rev in Las Vegas, which was voted the top show in Vegas for 10 years running and was one of the top acrobatic shows in the world. Most of the swimmers in the show represented their countries in the Olympics in synchronized swimming. Maggie would like to thank Coach Linda Gust for encouraging her creative approach to synchronized swimming. Maggie says, Coach Gust allowed me many creative liberties, from music to choreography, even swimsuit choices, and I'm so grateful to her for that. She would also like to thank Carrie Hirschberger Schwiedering for nominating her for the Hall of Fame. She would also like to thank Karen Hirschberger Gleason for making her feel so welcome to the team when she started as a 7th grader. Maggie wants to thank her mother, Jean, for signing her up for synchro when she was in 3rd grade. Her mother recognized Maggie's love for swimming and asked if she wanted to do speed swimming, where you swim back and forth in the pool, or do synchro, where you do handstands on the bottom of the pool. The rest is history. She also wants to thank her brother, Zach, who would make fun of her basketball skills, making her realize that she should concentrate on synchro. Maggie currently lives in Woodlands, Texas, with her husband, Jason, and their 2 sons, Braxton and Gavin. She is still swimming and performing with Aqua Lilies with swimmers half her age. To fulfill her creative outlet, she loves to dance around the kitchen with Braxton and Gavin. Congratulations to Maggie Lauren Brown on her induction into the St. Louis Park Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Austin Delaney, class of 2008. Austin Delaney was the Minnesota triple jump state champion in 2008 with a jump of 46 feet, 6.5 inches. Austin was, 46 feet, 6.5 inches. Yeah, that's a long ways. Hop, skip, jump. Austin was a three-sport athlete until he decided just to concentrate on track for his senior year. After his junior year, Austin competed in the Nike Outdoor National Meet and the USA Track and Field Junior Olympics. At the Nike meet, he ran the 110-meter hurdles in 14.39 and triple jumped 48 feet. At the USTF meet, he triple jumped 47 feet 6 inches to attain All-American status. Coach Rich Keith considered Austin a true track athlete. He participated in long jump, triple jump, the 300-meter hurdles, and the 110-meter hurdles. Austin was undefeated in the high hurdles his senior season until the state finals at the state meet. He was leading the race until he hit one of the last hurdles and finished 7th. He was a 4-year letter winner in track and field and a 3-time high school All-American. He was voted the most valuable track athlete in 2007. He was a 4-time North Suburban Conference champion and a 7-time North Suburban All-Conference selection. Austin is still the school record holder in the triple jump. Coach Keith called Austin a once-in-a-generation talent that most coaches never get a chance to experience. After high school, Austin competed for 4 years at South Plains College. He spent 5 years on the Park coaching staff and said it was a great opportunity to give back some of the great things he learned during his career. Austin would like to thank his coaches Michael Cleary and Rich Keith for all their help in coaching. He would also like to thank his mom, Katina Neal, and his sister Paris for all their support and encouragement. Austin is currently living in Uptown with his wife Claire and their 2 kids, Moon and Arrow. He works in IT at Ecolab. Congratulations, Austin. Congratulations. Good to see you. How are you, Sandy? Good. I'm good. It's a lot of talking. I need more water. Jack Wilhite, coach. Jack passed away in 2020. He's being represented by his daughter, Linnea Mansky. For over 30 years, Jack Wilhite was a teacher and coach at St. Louis Park. He coached football, wrestling, and track and field, but his most lasting contribution to the students and athletes at Park was as an adaptive physical education teacher and Special Olympics coach for students and athletes with special needs. Jack was born in 1931 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He graduated from St. Cloud High School and went to Bemidji State College on a football scholarship. Prior to teaching at Park, Jack taught and coached at Bemidji, Madison, Minnesota, and Grand Rapids. He started teaching at Park in 1961 and retired in 1992. He was an assistant football coach for over 30 years, many as the defensive coordinator. He was the varsity wrestling coach from 1961 to 65 and again from 73 to 77. In his last year as head wrestling coach, Greg Gagnon won the heavyweight state championship. He was also an assistant track coach and the weight room supervisor from 1977 to 2002. Jack's daughter, Linnea, said that when Jack was teaching, he would walk by the gym and see students with mental and physical disabilities just sitting on the floor doing nothing. Rather than ignoring the situation, Jack got his master's degree in developmental physical education and started an adaptive PE program for those K-12 students at Park. Soon he had built obstacle courses for those kids to climb, stretch, and exercise. He developed a year-round Special Olympic program for his athletes. Phil Lindenblad, father of Alex, one of Jack's adaptive PE students, said, Jack was a positive and supportive coach who treated his athletes with respect and kindness. He also became interested in the National Special Olympics program started by Eunice Kennedy Shriver. Soon his athletes were training for and participating in Special Olympics events all around the country. Jack coached in 4 summer and winter Olympic Games with Special Olympics. For his contributions, Jack was named the 1988 Special Olympics National Coach of the Year that was presented to him by Eunice Shriver in Hannesport, Massachusetts. Jack helped change the lives of hundreds of students and families at Park, especially his Special Olympians. Jack had a plaque in his office that read, I know I'm special because God don't make no junk. Other honors that Jack has received include the 1989 Bemidji State University Outstanding Alumnus Award, the 1992 Butch Nash Award for Assistant Football Coaches, and in 2000 he was inducted into the Minnesota Wrestling Hall of Fame. Jack took great pride in being a tough coach. Greg Gagnon says that Jack was rough and tough on the outside. Whoa. All right. Rough and tough on the outside, but with a heart that was huge for those who took a moment to take the 10,000-foot view. Raleigh Hanks, who coached football with Jack, said he remembers the story when Jack and his brother-in-law came across a big black bear up in the Boundary Waters. Jack calmly put down the canoe, picked up a rock, and hit the bear right between the nose and watched it run away. Even the bear didn't want to mess around with Jack. It was at times perplexing for those who coached football, wrestling, and track with Jack to watch him with his Special Olympians. He was kind, gentle, and patient with those kids, but he also demanded excellence in everything they did. He was a truly special coach. In 1960, Jack married Karen Anderson, and they were married for 60 years until his death in 2020. Karen is unable to attend the banquet because of her health. Besides Linnea, Jack has another daughter, Kristen, who is deceased. Jack and Karen have 4 grandchildren, Ellie, Kayla, Hannah, and Nick. St. Louis Park schools are a better place because of the contributions of Jack Wilhite.
And this is Alex Lindblad, Dick Metro, and Sandy Houston.
Thank you. I'm good. Good to see you. Yeah. Are we good, Bruce? Okay. All right, our first team of distinction is the 1962 Minnesota High School Boys Track and Field State Champions. The school year, September 1961 through June 1962, was certainly a year to remember in St. Louis Park High School athletics. For when the 1962 boys track and field team won the state meet in June 1962, it marked the 3rd state title won by the school during that school year. It all started in the fall when the 1961 boys cross-country team won the state title. Several boys on that team were also on the 1962 track team. Then in March 1962, the boys basketball team won state. Again, a couple of the boys on that team were also on the 1962 track team. At the time, no other school in the state could boast of 3 state championships in one school year. The 1962 track and field team state title was also right in the midst of St. Louis Park's dominance in the sport. St. Louis Park track and field teams won state titles in 1958, 1962, 1963, 1965, and 1966. That's 5 state championships in 9 years. The 1962 team won every meet that it participated in during the season, including the state indoor, Carlton Relays, Lake Conference, District 18, Region 5, and the state meet. At the state meet, the team amassed 31 points, far outdistancing Minneapolis Central and Minneapolis Roosevelt, which tied for second place, each with 18 points. At the state meet, St. Louis Park had runners place in 6 events. Mike Gilham won the 440-yard dash with a time of 49.1 seconds, a new meet record. In the 880-yard run, Chuck Patterson took second place, while Wally Levac placed 5th. In the mile run, St. Louis Park runners took first and second place, with Bruce Mortensen and John Valentine second. Jerry Brower placed second in the 180 low hurdles. In the 880-yard relay, the team of Jerry Brower, Ken Morton, Chris Morris, and Gary Smith came in 3rd place. In the final event of the day, the mile relay, the team of Tom Langen, Chris Morris, Gary Smith, and Bruce Mortensen closed out the scoring with another 1st place. Many members of the 1962 team have expressed to the Hall of Fame committee that they feel truly honored to have participated in track and field at St. Louis Park and to have been coached by Roy Griak and his great staff. In fact, many members of this team a year later followed Coach Griak to the University of Minnesota. Now let's meet some of the athletes and representatives of the coaches who participated in the state meet. Bruce Fisher. After St. Louis Park, Bruce graduated from the University of Minnesota with a BA in journalism. While at the U, Bruce ran track for 1 year under Coach Griak. Bruce has stayed involved with sports by volunteer coaching Little League, Babe Ruth baseball, and recreational basketball. His career was in sales and marketing, with the last 15 years prior to retirement in 2012 as an independent food trader. Bruce married Lori Lyken in 1979, and they have 2 sons, Nate and Zach. Bruce was also a member of the 1963 state champion track team that has been honored as a team of distinction. Tom Langen. Tom continued his education after high school, receiving a BA degree from Bemidji State University while participating in cross country and hockey. He went on to receive an education degree from the University of Minnesota and later did post-grad studies at the University of Washington. Tom also spent 3 years in the Army, attaining the rank of Staff Sergeant E6, and was awarded a Bronze Star while serving in Vietnam. Tom spent most of his career as a health education teacher at Enumclaw High School in Washington State, where he coached track and cross country. Tom has 2 daughters and 1 granddaughter. He was also a member of the 1961 state champion cross country team. Bruce Mortensen. Bruce is one of the most accomplished runners ever to attend St. Louis Park High School. After graduation from high school, Bruce attended a very prestigious cross-country and track school, the University of Oregon, where he received a BA degree. While Bruce was at Oregon, the cross-country team twice placed second at the NCAA championship meet, while the track team won 2 NCAA championships. Individually, Bruce won the 1965 NCAA steeplechase title and was a 2-time All-American. Bruce went on to get an MA degree from Winona State and spent most of his career as a rehabilitation counselor for the state of Minnesota. While working, Bruce was able to coach at Lourdes and John Marshall in Rochester. In retirement, he was able to coach for a number of years at Eden Prairie High School. As you can tell, running has always been a part of Bruce's life. He has won 5 marathons and in 1972 placed 6th at the Boston Marathon. Bruce and his wife Rosie split their time between their home in Minnetonka and a townhome in Eugene, Oregon. Bruce is a member of the St. Louis Park High School Athletic Hall of Fame and was also a member of the 1961 state championship cross-country team. Jerry Brower. And Jerry's not here with us today due to back surgery. Jerry attended the University of Minnesota and ran track for 3 years. He placed 4th in the hurdles in a Big Ten conference meet and graduated with a degree in psychology. His career spanned 49 years in television sales for KSTP, CARE, and Comcast. Jerry and his wife, Maureen, spent a lot of time with their children and grandchildren. Jerry is a member of the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame and is also a member of 2 other teams of distinction, the 1962 state championship basketball team and the 1963 state championship track and field team. Mike Gillum. After graduation from high school, Mike attended the University of Minnesota on a full track scholarship. While running at the U, Mike qualified for 3 U.S. national track and field meets and was the captain of the 1967 team. Mike was in broadcast business for 18 years, followed by president and CEO of Calia Imports. Austin, Texas is currently Mike's home. Mike is a member of the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame and was a member of the 1963 state championship track and field team. Coach Jack Wilhite, representing Coach Wilhite again is his daughter Linnea Mansky. Jack helped coach the shot and discus. Coach Lefty Wright. Representing Coach Lefty Wright is his wife, Nan. Coach Wright passed away in October 2015. Lefty coached the distance runners for the team. Lefty had a long and impressive history of service to St. Louis Park High School and to the sports of track and field and cross country in Minnesota as both a coach and administrator. Lefty served as assistant track and field coach for 11 years. In cross country, he was an assistant coach for 8 years and head coach for 6 years. He served as the athletic director at St. Louis Park High School from 1977 to 1993. Lefty is a member of numerous Hall of Fames, including St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame. Lefty Wright. Lastly would be Coach Roy Griak. Representing Coach Griak is one of his sons, Jason Griak. Coach Griak passed away in July 2015 at the age of 91. He was head cross country and track and field coach at St. Louis Park High School for 11 years, and in 1963 assumed the same positions at the University of Minnesota. He led the Gophers for 33 years and then worked as an administrative assistant until the time of his death. The program at his funeral stated, "More important than the championships and the accolades is the impact that Roy had on everyone in his life. Roy had an amazing ability to make everyone feel important. His smile was contagious and genuine. The ripple effect of his influence will be felt for many generations. Roy's spirit lives on in the hearts of those who knew him." Coach Griak is a member of a number of Hall of Fames, including the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame. Let's have a big round of applause for the 1962 boys track and field team.
The 63 team was undefeated too, so Park had 2 straight years.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is.
right, our second team of distinction is the 1974 Synchronized Swimming State Champions.
There's a lot of them, so we gotta wait for them to get up.
All right. It's almost 50 years to the day that the 1974 St. Louis Park Synchronized Swimming Team won the Minnesota State Championship by scoring 96 points to defeat second place Edina East, who had 51 points, and 18 other teams. Kathy Poloshuk led the team with the 1.8 solo competition state championship. Kathy was undefeated in solo competition her senior year. Also placing first in the 1.8 division was Laura Addington and Jill Justice in the duet competition. Jill Justice won the 1.7 solo state championship, and Julie Gorman and Kathy Hoff won the 1.7 duet competition state championship. That's okay. You do you, Miss Ross. Rob, you do you. After Title IX passed in 1972, synchronized swimming became an official varsity sport recognized by the Minnesota State High School League. Because of the long tradition of the Surf Bells at Park, started by Coach Sally Callahan, St. Louis Park was ready to participate in the high school competition of synchronized swimming. The 1974 championship was the first girls' state championship in St. Louis Park history after the passage of Title IX. St. Louis Park began its dominance in synchronized swimming that was to last for years. Synchronized swimming has won more state championships than any other sport at St. Louis Park. Participating in synchronized swimming had a significant effect on the women on this stage. In remembering their time on the team, they spoke of the life lessons they learned. They talked about the hard work and discipline that was required to learn their routines. They learned persistence and how to work as a team. Some mentioned the confidence and leadership skills they gained by participating and succeeding in sports and how important that was to them as young women. They enjoyed their teammates and the camaraderie and respect for each other that grew as the result of being on a successful team. Let's meet the women of the 1974 State Championship Synchronized Swimming Team. So, Coach Sally Callahan. Coach Callahan has already been inducted into the Park Hall of Fame. She coached 22 state championship teams, 10 state runner-ups, and 19 lake conference champions. The 1974 state championship team had strong and vivid memories of Coach Callahan. They thought she was demanding but always fair. They were all just a little afraid of her, but had a tremendous respect for her. Good. The one memory they all seemed to have was of Coach Callahan walking around the pool deck in her terry cloth robe, beating her little drum to keep time with the music. And they all were amazed that even with the heat and humidity of the pool, her hair was always perfect. It's great that Coach Callahan is able to be here with us today. We're all thrilled for everybody to be here and to be able to see Coach Callahan. All right. Laura Addington Wertwine. After high school, Laura attended St. Olaf College with a biology major. She became a pharmaceutical representative and met her husband, Ralph, on a blind date. They currently live in Owatonna, and she owns a long arm quilting business. Coach Callahan was always tough on us, but I'm sure we're all better people because of it. Robin Kopman Hahn. Robin graduated from the University of Puget Sound with a degree in occupational therapy. She married her husband, Mark, and they have 2 children, Bradley and Aaron. They have lived in Washington, D.C., Fargo, Avon, Connecticut, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Fort Worth, Biddleford, Maine, and currently in Kansas City. Synchronized swimming gave me purpose and taught me commitment. Catherine Isaacson Wingy. Catherine graduated from St. Cloud State University with a BS and MBA degree. She was a partner in a nonprofit consulting firm and retired in 2019. She received her Healing Touch certification and works in hospice. She is married to Peter Wingy, and they have 2 children, Caddy and Christopher. I think I only saw Coach Callahan in the pool once or twice. I always wondered how her kip would look. That's an inside synchronized swimming joke. Kathy Pawashuk. Kathy went to the University of Minnesota and graduated from the University of Florida with a degree in geology. She moved to Laramie and worked at the University of Wyoming in the geophysics department. She married Eric, and they moved to Pittsburgh, where she got a BS and an MS in physical therapy. They have 2 sons, Matt and Mike, and a grandson, Mateo. They currently live in Jamestown, North Carolina, and recently celebrated their 40th anniversary. It meant the world to me to hear Coach Callahan say, "Nice job," but it didn't happen often. Julianne Gorman Ramo. Julianne attended the University of Minnesota and Duluth. She met her pastor's son, David, and they married in 1977. They will celebrate their 47th anniversary on New Year's Eve. They have 5 children, Nicole, Ryan, Tiffany, David, and Sean. They have 8 grandchildren and currently live in Duluth. I loved synchronized swimming. I loved everything about it, especially with being with all the girls. Kathy Lentz Berlin. Kathy attended Mankato State University and the University of Minnesota and got a degree in music therapy. She married Jim Berlin in 1981, and they eventually moved to Charlottesville, Virginia. They have raised 3 children, Jenny, Dan, and Matt, and they have 8 grandchildren, 7 girls and 1 boy. I remember going to the athletic director, Lloyd Holm, and complaining that our swimming suits and warm-ups were not school colors. He told me after getting new warm-ups and suits for the boys' team, there was not enough money for the girls. So. Melanie Leduc Fry. Melanie married a pastor, Tom Fry, with their 3 children, Jonathan, Eric, and Kelly. They served for 10 years as Protestant missionaries in Hong Kong. They have been married 40 years, have 5 grandchildren, and currently live in Tomah, Wisconsin. I was the one who kept fainting in the water. I just could not hold my breath long enough. Katie Kraling. For those of you old enough to remember, Katie was the daughter of the famous WCCO weatherman Bud Kraling. She currently lives in Minneapolis. She received her BA in the humanities from the University of Minnesota. She has worked at a food shelf for more than 20 years. Jenny Hastinson. Jenny became a paramedic for Hennepin County in 1981. She graduated from St. Catherine's in 1987 with a degree in nursing. She is currently working at Abbott Northwestern Hospital in pre and post-op eye surgery. As a single mom, she has raised two daughters, Karen and Katrine, and has a brand new grandson. Geez, we were so sick of listening to that song, Yellow Submarine. Leslie Moorhead Haney. Leslie graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Stout. She worked for a college textbook publisher as an editor. She met her husband Mark there, and they have three sons, Trevor, Sam, and Colin. They lived in Seattle before moving back to Minneapolis. They have two amazing daughters-in-law and two above-average grandchildren. Wow. I learned about the strength of teamwork, that hundreds of crunches and toe pointers will not kill me. K. Gust Christopher, sorry. Ugh. Kay attended Lakeland Academy and worked in the medical field for 17 years. She also attended Aveda Institute and advanced training and obtained a BS degree. Currently, she and her husband own two businesses in the motivational speaking industry. They have one daughter, Julie. I learned it was teamwork and supporting each other. This lesson is lifelong, and no one ever gets anywhere by themselves. Ann Porter Knutson. Ann attended the University of Minnesota and received a degree in accounting and business. She married Bill and moved to California. They had two sons, Alex and Josh, and decided to move back to Minnesota, where they had their daughter, Katrina. They have 4 grandchildren. She still works in the marine industry. Miss Callahan was an amazing coach that helped each girl to be the best she could possibly be. Jill Justice Johnston. Jill was an Athena Award winner in 1974 as the best female athlete at Park. After high school, she went to Concordia College in Moorhead, where she got her degree in elementary education and religion. She received her master's in education from Hamlin. She worked for 35 years as an elementary teacher and reading specialist. She married her high school sweetheart, Rick Johnson, and had 3 children, Bryce, Lee, and Kenzie. They have 2 grandchildren who live in Edina. The theme of our synchronized swimming show in 1974 was dreams. Being part of that team helped make many of my dreams come true. Wanda Tranberg Haskins. Wanda taught swimming and lifeguarded at Westwood and Crystal Pools after high school. She attended Crown College University and Golden Valley Lutheran College and earned an associate's degree. She married John Haskins, who coached Wanda for the boys dive team and our previous inductee, Bruce Mortland, in the pole vault. They lived in Texas and in Michigan before returning to Minnesota for the past 26 years. They have 4 children, Krista, Casey, Matthew, and Zachary. She has 6 grandchildren. Coach Callahan expected nothing less than our best, and we did everything we could to deliver. Sue Walker Lewis. Sue attended college in Wisconsin and got married in 1981. She had 2 children, Amanda and Ted, and raised them as a single parent after divorcing. She remarried in 2001 to her husband, Greg. Her bonus kids are Robin and Ryan, and they have 4 grandchildren. They spend their winters in Florida and summers in Apple Valley. Synchro had structure, expectations, gave me purpose, taught me grace, and a sense of self-worth. I learned that I was good at something and that when I worked at it, I could achieve it. Kristen Frost. Chris attended St. Cloud University and participated in Synchro her freshman year. She graduated with a BS in art education after student teaching in Aberdeen, Scotland. She was a substitute teacher for a year before going back to school for a certificate in graphic communications. She mostly worked for Dayton's in clerical billing, commercial interiors, and telecommunications. She retired from Dayton's after 36 years. She worked at U.S. Bank in telecommunications as a senior systems administrator from 2011 to 2020 before retiring for good. Chris has been competing on the Minnesota Masters synchronized team for the past 28 years. I guess I have chlorine in my veins and hair. Kathy Hoff Gaffney. Kathy attended St. Olaf College and earned a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Kathy worked for Abbott Northwestern, the Red Cross, the National Marrow Donor Program, the University of Minnesota, and for the past 24 years at Park Nicollet. She recently retired. She is married to Dale, and they have 2 children, Michelle and Paul, and 1 grandchild. I remember the T for 2 tuxedo hats that nearly drowned me and Julie because they held too much water. So, once again, our second team of distinction, if we can give them one more round of applause. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce.
Go ahead. Thanks, guys.
Thank you again for putting that together.
Thanks. Great job, Andy. Not easy, is it? Just one quick announcement about the pictures. We want to thank Andy Steinfeld for being our photographer today, over there. He will send me a link with all the pictures on it, and then I will send the link to all the inductees and the swimmers and the track people. And so you can contact them. If you don't get a link from me, you can contact the person that you're here to see, and then they'll send you the link as well. So all the pictures will be on a link. All right. Thanks for coming. It was a very, very nice banquet. Congratulations to everyone.